Here we go. All right, that was Hurry Sundown from apparently from a movie. I know the cover from not Rachel, I don't know, Little Richard, who does a cover which shows up on Better Call Saul. This is Fargo 5. I'm Conrad Fargo. We are here with Leola Doll, and we did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, Leola Doll, and we are moving on to Fargo FAQ. So, people are interested in the city of Fargo. They want to know all about Fargo, what it is that we do here, what life is like here, and so they send in tons of mail. I spend all day reading emails. I cannot get that inbox emptied. They ask questions. Well, I like to, if one of them is interesting or is indicative of a question we get asked a lot, I like to jump right into it and ask it on the air. So I'm hoping maybe you can help answer what it's like to live in Fargo with these Fargo FAQs. So are you ready?
I think so.
You think so? All right. It's just going to be
Okay.
what is it like for you living in Fargo?
Sure.
What's Fargo life like? So Liam Walker from Portland, Oregon asks, does Fargo experience any natural disasters like tornadoes or severe storms? How do locals cope with such situations?
Well, I would say we experience flooding in the spring would be the one thing that I think of. And, coping with it, I would say if you want to see a community come together, during the floods
It really is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So when were you in the city? Were you here in 97?
I was. That was the first big one, right? 97.
That was the one.
Yeah.
So there was the
So I was
storm
here.
and the flood.
Right. The storm. Yeah, and that was scary.
That was fun. So for me, that's like, a core memory. That was very formative. Lots of people. So I was like 10 at the time.
Okay.
And like everybody I knew and their mother was losing their house to the flood. And so and I'm a realtor as well, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Premier Properties. When I show houses, like I even raise an eyebrow when it doesn't have a sump or stuff like that.
Right.
And I prefer bi-levels because it's only garden level. And then a lot of my clients are also millennials like me who grew up here, and they have kind of the same issue where it's like, ooh, basement. Is it going to get wet?
Right.
And because of that flood.
Right.
Because we are a flat plain. And I run into this with some people as well, where they're not from around here, and they would think like being near the river is what's going to make you most prone to flooding. But it's actually not even true, because we're so flat. There's actually places that are miles away from the river where the land is actually just that much lower. You get the off-land run over,
Right.
and so those are the floodplains, and that's where you're like worried about it.
Yeah.
Of course, they have the diversion coming up soon. Have you heard much about the diversion and that?
I haven't heard a lot about it because I'm not too close to that area.
Yeah.
But
So it's going to take a lot of places out of the flood zone.
Good.
So the flood places, the flood zone places that you got to pay like an extra insurance, and it's very expensive to live there. When they build that diversion, it's going to be much more affordable to live there. So the property values there are going to go up. There's going to be a whole bunch of land that opens up that we can use to build because there's not enough space for building. Okay. So that'll be really helpful.
Yeah.
And like it's a huge federally funded multi-million-dollar project. It's going to bring a ton of jobs.
Oh, that's great.
So it's going to be like the Big Dig in Boston, but in Fargo. Like it's going to be. It is, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Because while it'll be great to have those jobs, we're already in a labor shortage.
Right.
And these are, so-called shovel-ready jobs where what we need is just people to, and those are the people that we're short on. So it's going to definitely be an exciting time.
Right.
In Fargo. Always an exciting time.
Yeah.
In Fargo. Moving on to the next question here. Sophia Davis from Hewitt, Texas asks, what are some unique culinary experiences or local dishes that Fargo is known for?
I think Fargo, we have a lot of great culinary options, but I always think this area is kind of known, and maybe it's partly my age, like for hot dishes and things like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of, we actually last night at Heart and Soul had a tater tot hot dish.
Oh.
And it, we sold out. We served close to 100. And,
wow.
And, so I don't know. I think of that. But then I also think with Heart and Soul, too, we also have a lot of harvest bowls. So we're using local food and fresh grains from the area. Yeah. And I think you see a lot of that around here, too. Unique food being made with local ingredients. And,
Yes.
And so that's really cool too.
Yeah, what a great question for you because of the the kitchen. And then you were showing me some pamphlets, something
Right.
about something food.
Yes, I forgot to mention that this week is actually National Everybody Eats Week. And so Heart and Soul is a part of a national organization called Everybody Eats. And so a lot of our core values come from the same core values that the national organization Everybody Eats has. And so we're thrilled to be a part of it. And basically, it's a week where we talk about how our community can work together to end hunger.
Ending hunger. Well, that's a very noble goal and one that I think your organization is probably adept to do.
Yes.
Moving on, next we'll be doing Fargo Fresh, but first, Norman Greenbaum with Spirit in the Sky. Don't go nowhere.